When you look so good on you, so shake like you've been changed. Come on, shake, 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 like you're changed. When you look so good on you, so shake like you've been changed. Come on, shake, shake, shake like you shake, shake like you shake. Great God Almighty, change me. 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 When I go in it, change me. That's 7 or 95, change me. Move your feet, 'cause you are breathing never anymore. You've got to shake, 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 like you change. When you look so good on you, shake like you.
He sure enough changed me. I'm Donnie Godson. Welcome to the meeting. We got a great meeting tonight. I don't know about you, but I was ready for a meeting. I was ready for some good news. I need to hear something. I need solutions today. I need to understand what God is doing in my life today. Sometimes I need direction and a focus. You know what I mean? So what we're going to talk about tonight is weaknesses. I want to ask you a question. If you had the job of putting together a panel of people to take over the world and to run the world, take a message to the world, who would you choose? I know that's right. The truth is, when we leave it up to most of the people in charge, the way the world works is they look for the pedigree. They look for the ones that's got the trophy case. They look for the ones that's qualified according to worldly standards. But we're going to talk about what God's qualified looks like tonight. We're going to talk about what real overcomers look like and real leaders look like tonight. And that starts with the most unlikely of people, the most broken, the most uncommon, and the lowly. And we're going to talk about it. So I'm just happy to be here. If you're happy to be here, give the Lord a hand clap of praise. We're going to start off with prayer. And my guy Ronnie's going to take it from here.
My name is Ronnie. A grateful believer, walking in recovery from drugs and alcohol and self. You say the serenity prayer with me. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taken as Jesus, simple world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you'll make all things right. I surrender to your will, so I may be reasonably happy in this life, and supremely happy with you forever and next.
Amen. That's the long version. Not sure if my mic's working correctly, but I'll read it. They might need it online. So welcome the people online at New Hope Church and Hope Shop Productions. We love y'all. Thank you for joining.
Check.
All right. So I want to go over some group rules real quick, and I want to introduce you to one of my guys. I love this dude. When I met this guy, he was all about God. He was all about recovery. He's all about things that we should be trying to obtain today, and that's humble. One of the most humble guys I know. Welcome, Trip.
Well, first off, got to be nice. It's our code. Don't use foul language. This is the house of God. Please keep and share down to 3 minutes. And use I statements. That's about it. Keep it simple.
Thanks, Trev. Thank you, Trev. All right, so nobody's perfect. You know, I slip up sometimes too. We just want to be mindful that there's family, there's kids here. We want this to be a safe place for everyone to recover and just enjoy your recovery and just love on God and have a good night. This is our night, guys, because we work all week, we're in treatment all week, we're in group all week. It's time for us to shine tonight and let God shine through us and just have fun and relax. So just remember that it's a comfortable place, and this is a place where you can trust your friends. So with that being said, it is clean time. I'll ask my friend Wes. He needs no introduction. You guys know my guy.
How y'all doing tonight? Good. Feels good to be in the house of the Lord, doesn't it? All right, we're going to celebrate some victories in here tonight. All right. We recover out loud so that everyone knows that it is possible around here. We don't do anything anonymous. We let everyone know the glory of God and what He's done for each and every one of us. Does anybody have 30 days? Working on it? Yes! Yes! Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep. Does anyone have 60 days? Yeah. Again? Oh, she just keeps coming back. All right, you got to come back. All right. Now we have 90 days. Oh, she's coming back. She just wants to collect. That's 3 hugs. All right. Now we're at 4 months. Does anybody have 4 months? Yes! Yes! All right. We're having some victories in the house of God tonight. Anybody at 5 months? 5 months? All right. Keep coming. The miracles do happen. 6 months of recovery. Do we have someone with 6 months of recovery? Oh, yes! All right. Yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. 7 months of recovery. 7 months. Yes! All right. Come on down. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Oh, thank you.
Oh, we got another one. Oh, yes. Congratulations.
Thank you.
God is good. 8 months. 8 months of recovery. 8 months? Yes. Congratulations. Congratulations. Another 7? Whoa! Congratulations. Bro, yeah. All right. We had a lot of victories in the house tonight. 9 months of recovery. 9 months? 9 months? I think she just stood up. 10 months of recovery. 10 months. Here we go. Here we go. Good job, Doug. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. 11 months of recovery. 11 months. 11 months. All right. All right. Now we're going on to the year. A year of recovery. 18 months. 18 months. Anybody 18 months? Keep working. Keep working. Multiple of years. Keep working. Now we're going to get to the most important one. Somebody want that first token, that surrender token. This is the most important one. 24 hours. All right. Well, if you didn't have to use today and God gave you a victory, let's raise our hands.
Congratulations, everybody, on your clean time. So, we started this off with a question. What would the world's panel look like with the people that they would choose? What I'd like to do tonight is I'd like to just read a scripture to you on how God chooses people and who he chooses. And watch this closely. 1 Corinthians 1:27 says, "But God chooses the foolish things of the world to confine the wise. God chooses the weak of the world to shame the strong. God chooses the lowly things of this world to despise the things that are not, to nullify that these are." If you keep reading in that chapter, he gives you a reason why. First of all, who he chooses is the foolish, the weak, and the lowly. Sound like a whole panel of winners, don't it? Why does he do this? Because if you read on, you'll find out that he gets glory. And you mean the dope boy got saved? He gets glory when you mean the prostitute got saved? He gets glory when you mean the drug addict got saved and is recovering and the alcoholic don't have to drink no more. What's really going on here? And how does he do that? But he takes one that's already been picked up, put together, shined up, and he puts them right back. Case in point, Jonah. We talked about it at church Sunday. Here's a man who's rebelling from God. God has to beat the rebellion out of this man, throw him in the belly of a fish, get him together to go preach to a country about being rebellious. Make it make sense. Let me tell you how it makes sense. Because if you've been through the process and you understand that God takes the broken, all of his disciples that he's chosen, the most unlikely of candidates, Moses in the Bible, running from the police for murder in an Egyptian, running for 40 years. He's on the backside of a desert. He's got a speech impediment. He's 80 years old. He's walking with a cane, and God shows up in the fire one day and says, "I want you to go back there and tell them, let my people go." Why? Because I think it's a picture of how God shines through our weakness. When you're weak and you're at the point when you're ready to give up and you're at the point to where you can't take it no more, I'm tired of living this way, I'm tired of things happening, and I'm tired of consequences, I'm tired of my children acting crazy, I'm tired of not having my children in my life, I'm tired of me. God, you're in a great place. Because you ain't got nowhere to look but up. How does God get his glory? But he don't get them through our flexes and our accolades and by the things that we have that we think we are blessed because of that. But really the Bible says, blessed be those that mourn. Blessed be those that are broken. Blessed are those that are weak. Because that's how God shines. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I want to introduce one of my friends, Crystal. And she's going to share a little spirit, strength, and hope on some weakness.
Hi, I'm Crystal. So this week I've struggled, been very weak actually. So God's kind of blessed me to be up here this week. I've been missing my kids a lot, and I'm on a journey in recovery, working really hard, and as I'm falling short, being weak, missing my kids, I'm not being able to witness those around me that are doing the right thing. They have that experience, strength, and hope also, and they're fighting a battle in recovery. And as I'm missing my kids and I'm, stuffing those feelings down, I'm not able to be present around those around me working the same program I am. So what I have to do is I have to turn to God and know that God's there for me, and those around me that are struggling too, those are the people that I need to be reaching out to and telling my feelings to. Because I'm very, very grateful that I have all of you to turn to. I might not have my kids in my life, but I'm pretty sure there's more than just me that's been abandoned, and by reaching out to one another, that's what makes us strong. We don't only have to reach out for God, but we can reach out to one another. So that's my experience in it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Most often when God's moved in my life, it's always been in a way that I've never expected. I've found that with my walk with God and my walk in recovery that God is the God of unexpected. He uses unlikely people, unlikely situations, and it's never attractive and think that that's the direction I need to go. But the more we fight it, the more we find out that that is the direction we need to go, because that situation, those things keep showing back up in our lives. And I know that everything starts small. God, forgive me for everything that I've done when I've come in against you, and teach me how to live right. Small things build to bigger things. With the weaknesses I can share with you tonight, make me more relevant to you. If I flex and tell you that I've been to college, I've done this, I've done that, I mean, we can all see the gifts that are in us. But when I get vulnerable and tell you that I didn't know how to deal with sexual abuse as a child, how I was stuck in a 40-year-old body still with a 12-year-old boy that was crying out, didn't understand what it was to have someone love me because I was violated. All my trust was violated. Things didn't look right to me, and how I leaned on the streets and how I leaned on the people around me that told me they were family, that were leading me to everything that made me feel good, because I didn't know what it was like to really understand serenity and peace in my life. So I like to chemically induce everything and make everything feel good. Even on this side of recovery, chasing anything that would cause me to feel good. Anything, food, women, men, whatever it is. I need you to make me feel good because we have a feeling problem. Huh? I have a feeling problem. But I had to surrender these weaknesses to God to help me understand that He was a God that came, that was beaten, that was tortured and hung on a cross. And it wasn't for His weaknesses, it was for mine. At the point I surrendered all this to Him, I realized that I have become someone new in His presence. And that's the idea of weakness. For me, I can be weak so you can see Him. His presence makes us new every time we get in a vulnerable place, and we don't care what nobody thinks about us anymore, because we know the path of recovery. We know the path of righteousness. We know the way, and that is to our Lord Jesus Christ, our Savior. And when we focus on that, we don't have to worry about being anything else other than a servant and a follower. And all those things that we talk about make it relevant for us to be used, because there's someone else out there that has trust issues. There's someone else there that has codependency issues. There's someone else out there that needs to know, what is the solution today? What is the solution? So we're going to continue to talk about these weaknesses, and we're going to wrap it up with the solution here in a minute. But I would like to hear what Wesley had to say about this.
Thank you. Thanks, Don. So long in my life, identity was my weakness. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted to be. Who I was depended on who you wanted me to be. How I acted was based upon how I felt you wanted me to. So I had no boundaries. I had no ability to remain consistent for who and what I believed in. A year ago to this day, I came home and found my girlfriend dead on the floor from an overdose. Today is the exact day I found her. This morning I woke up in tears. I couldn't find myself. No kind of peace. And then I listened to a sermon. And the sermon was about sometimes God sends people to help you heal. There's a story I heard in that sermon. It said that man's waiting in the ocean and he's praying for God. And along comes God to save him. And along comes a helicopter. And he's like, no, I'm waiting on God. And then here comes a boat. He's like, no, I'm waiting on God. And here comes another thing to save him. And he's like, no, I'm waiting on God. And then he dies, drowns, goes to heaven. And God's like, what are you doing here? He's like, I sent you a helicopter. I sent you a boat. Why didn't you take the things I sent you? And sometimes you push away the things that were meant to save you. And that's like, every time I do something, overcome something, because in the Bible, we only know Moses because of the Pharaoh. We only know David because of Goliath. These are the things that they overcame. And that's what we do in recovery. We overcome things. And because I've went through all these things, it gives me the chance to share my experience. Sometimes going to a meeting and helping someone else recover, going to a meeting is not only for me, it's for someone else too. It's not just for me. I can go and share what I've overcame or talk to someone. A lot of times when people reach out to me, they're helping me, not just as much as I'm helping them. And that would being of service to someone else. Every time I get over something in recovery, it gives me a chance to help someone else in the future. Because that's what we're trying to do is create a ripple effect. So a long list of people this can become bigger. We have a lot of sick people out there that are still, and a lot of them, some of them didn't make it. Some of them didn't make it. Every day I wake up, I'm grateful that I'm still here. It's not always easy to show your weakness, but that's where we all have compatibility. We've all went through this tremendous life where we didn't really know how to feel or think about any situation. We have a common ground that's called dysfunction. And that's where I find peace at, because if I walked into a room full of people that said that I'm okay, and they were sharing that, I can't relate with okay. I got to relate with I was broken and I came here to find peace. And this is where I found peace, in the house of the Lord. I didn't find peace out there in the streets, remaining with broken people. I found peace when I came into this house with God, and then I was able to relate with people that I seen were once broken and healed by the grace of God. That's all I got.
One guy was preaching. So I think it was interesting that he said something about we identify David with Goliath, right? Because everybody knows about his enemy. But did you know the story didn't stop there? On the other side of David becoming king, he still had issues. He had issues that stemmed from all the way back when he was a child and he was rejected from his own father. And he had issues of pride. He had issues that he was becoming everything that he was doing, and he was in control of that, and he lost sight of God. He looked over into a balcony and he seen a woman that belonged to his best friend that was at war where he should have been. And he decided he was going to take her. And when he took her and she became pregnant, he can no longer hide it. He had his best friend murdered. Does it sound like somebody we should put into power and have control over the panels of life that God chooses? What's the point? The point is even on the other side of recovery, sometimes, I'm going to talk about me for a minute. You get a few 24 hours underneath your belt and you get busy. You get busy. You start going to work. You got 40 hours a week. Then you got your meetings that you go to, and then you get involved in some other things, and then your children come back, and then all these things start coming back into your life. And all of a sudden, the time that we used to spend with God has now gotten weak. But your title is strong. We need to get back to the place of our first love. We're doing a series in the church now. It's called Back to the Basics. I believe that we got to get back to a place because God will take you and that's broken and he will use you and he will lift you up and plant you in those places. But it's real easy to see what's going on and think that that's us doing the work. Donnie needs to get back to the place to understand I ain't doing God's work. God, do the work through me. It's not me. It's no longer I that live. I've laid down life. I live and I serve and I move and my being is in him. This is a hard thing to understand sometimes, but it really is as simple as have you prayed this morning or did you run out the door late to work and spilling your coffee everywhere, cussing everybody out that's in front of you because you're mad at them. And really the whole time, those people that cut you off, that got you angry are telling you that, you know what I mean? I'm getting up this morning to make Donnie mad. That's my mission in life. That's what I want to do. All right. So what are you talking about? I'm talking about my weaknesses. They're small. I can see God overcoming the big things, getting me over drug addiction, street life, put me into another place. But what's it look like when you keep walking towards God and we start getting complacent? One of my weaknesses is complacency. I get into a comfortable place because I have a feeling problem, and I think everything's going good, and I get anxious, and I start to mess things up and catastrophize because I need to feel the drama. I feel like I got to put out a fire. I feel like I got to fix you. I got to fix you. I got to fix somebody else, and really it ain't my job to do any of that, and I'm staying so busy, I'm running from my worship. I'm running from the things that got me to where I am today, the one thing. The basic thing. So, Ron, do you have any experience on the week?
Yeah. This coincides with what we were talking about last month. I figured out this past year, 2022, I'm a weak person. I'm mentally weak. And where I'm weak at is all my life I try to search for genuine love, authentic love, and you know, I even searched for my family like that authentic love because it was lack of love for myself. And you know, God talks to me through music. I've noticed that like the past few years. And, you know, I got a listening ear from my dad that played in a band for over 20 years, you know, and going to band practice with him and stuff like that. And I heard this song the other day. I was helping a guy get in the treatment and everything went wrong, you know, and I was like, man, why, God? Like when I'm trying to, you know, and it goes back to, do I really believe in God? Do I really love God? And 2022 taught me to be strong, and it also taught me to let down my pride and identify some things. And when I started walking, or when God started walking with me, and I gave him my heart, you know, years ago. It was kind of like I was asking, like, are you going to be there to fix me when I'm broken? are you going to hear me when I cry? And it goes down to, you know what I mean? Do I love God for what he does, or do I love God for him? And this year taught me nothing in the world could ever teach me the understanding of love other than God. Because I finally reached a point, and it took me a very long time, because I went from being a fan of God, and this year it taught me to be a follower, you know. And it's not because I even found validation in being a leader in recovery. I found validation in my purpose, like, oh, God's with me. I mean, I have this purpose in life. You know what I mean? He's given me person. He's given me a reason to live, you know, and stuff like that. I can't give up now. I even found validation in relationships. And everyone that I hurt actually hurt because I put that on them, of even relationships, of how they made me feel. You know what I mean? What they did for me and stuff like that. And I asked myself, you know what I mean? Everybody I've come across the last, you know what I mean, couple of months, I've asked myself, is it because what they do for me, or do I love them as a person? Do I value our friendship because who they are a person, you know? And I finally reached that point, because I even got addicted in my purpose, because I found validation of having a name in recovery and stuff like that. And no, I no longer, I finally reached that point, and I woke up this morning and I drove on the countryside, and I thank God, because he really taught me what love really is. And I was weak all my life because I seek validation and authentic and genuine love. I was constantly questioning people, do they really care? You know what I mean? And I finally reached the point, and I thank God for his goodness. You know what I mean? He really taught me about love. Today, I had one of my brothers that God put in my life 5 years ago going to treatment. Came all the way down from Cincinnati from his busy schedule and come to visit my mom, you know what I mean, and myself. And that God has really it's not about like what even my purpose in life, you know what I mean, of helping the broken and helping them, guide them and stuff like that. Like getting the guy in the treatment. I only bring this up just for example, you know. He's in treatment. He wanted to leave the other day. One of my brothers told me, you know. And I said, if he leaves, I'm done with you. And I was joking because I moving his car the other day, I bent my rim. I had to replace 2 rims and 2 tires. And I said, oh, I said, man, he better stay, you know. But where God touched my heart this morning, I got off work after a long day yesterday. And I love the guys so much. I mean, it's like genuine love, and God taught me how to genuinely love somebody. I spent my Friday night last night and getting this stuff, you know what I mean, by myself, and I needed that time by myself. And midway through, I'm like, man, God's amazing. Like, he really did change my heart. Who would have thought I would spend my Friday night by myself, like moving his stuff, you know? Like, and the biggest blessings, you know, and you teach your soul, and he has taught me, you know what I mean? You don't have to tell everybody. And I used to do that. I used to tell everybody who I helped, you know, and I needed validation. And I'm sorry for that, you know. It took this long for God to change my heart and actually become a follower. Like, at the beginning of this journey, I thought it was going to be, you know, oh, it's going to be smooth sailing. I got God in my life. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to stay sober and everything. And like I said, God talks to me through music. And he's going to turn my water, well, now let's not say wine, because we know where that leads. But he's going to turn it into grape juice, you know. It's going to be smooth sailing. No. And all the trials I've been through in this last year, of all the grieving that I did, even, you know what I mean, losing my best friend, losing my dad, and getting out of a 3-year relationship, you know what I mean? I really am sorry to everybody. I really didn't understand what love was. Love is not what you can do for them. And I question my walk with God. Like, am I a believer? Do I love him for who he is, or do I love him because all the miracles that he's brought in my life? And I finally reached that point. If he does nothing from this point on, I would be grateful. You know, if I was, you know what I mean, nobody, you know, I would be grateful because he really taught me what love is. And now today, because he taught me what love is, I actually genuinely love myself. I know how to love myself, you know, and not every day is easy, but man, with that, I pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. So the Apostle Paul prayed time after time after time again, God, take this thorn from me. Get this thorn out of my side. It's hindering my walk. I don't understand why I got this weakness that I got to carry around. God said, no, my grace is sufficient for you because in your weak, I am strong. Doesn't make any sense to embrace my weaknesses while I'm in the moment of brokenness. I don't know how to embrace pain and when I'm heartbroken. I don't know how to embrace that. I don't know how to embrace the fact that I might be a little prideful because we're taught to let those things go. But you find out later on down the road that it was that very thorn that was in the side that made us relevant to someone else. He's taking the gospel to a whole bunch of people in the world and telling them how great this man is that they call Jesus, and he was the same one that was murdering them. Don't make no sense, does it? Why? Because he's the least likely to be doing that very thing. He's the least likely. On the other side of you surrendering your weaknesses and me surrendering my weaknesses and understanding, God, okay, I'm done doing this thing. I'm ready for you to take me and polish me up and put me somewhere. We get our minds on getting everything good back in our life and things with houses and cars and jobs. And that's all great stuff. But he doesn't remove all our shortcomings because he wants to use some of them. What do you mean, brother? Manipulation. I was a master manipulator. I can come in a room and make you think I was like Houdini. If I needed something from you, I was going to find a way to get it. I'm just going to take it. I can manipulate all kinds of things. I pray, God, take this from me. I just want to be honest with people. I want to be loving to people. And he put me into a school where I was learned how manipulation could be used for good. How to take someone who doesn't understand what's going on, but I do, but make them buy into the recovery life by redirecting their questions back to them and let them buy in and say, oh, this was my idea, and the whole time you had it right here. Manipulation can be used. God can use anything. You hear what I'm saying? Anything. And it wasn't my idea, but it was theirs. So they give God glory, but it was my weakness. Come on, somebody. You hear what I'm saying? This is what it looks like when you surrender your weaknesses to God and allow him to shine through it. It ain't me doing it, but it's him doing it through me. Because I didn't say a word. I just asked a question. Some of the most powerful ideas come from asking questions. Now, I got a question. What's your weakness? What is it that you're struggling with? What is it that you struggle with that you've overcome? Maybe you'd like to talk to somebody about it tonight. So I'm going to ask you guys in a few minutes after I have my friend Tripp talk about his, and I'm going to open up the floor and I'm going to let you guys talk back to us so we can hear from you because we all recover together out loud. This ain't about us on the panel. This is just to till up the ground so we can get started tonight. We can deal with some real issues, and I want to hear from y'all. You hear me? So welcome my friend Tripp.
Broken feelings and love. That's pretty much wraps me up in a nutshell. I got trust issues because I don't know how to handle my feelings, because of love issues. You know, I've never met my father. You know, the stepdads I did have, it was all bad. You know, they tried, they failed. So I couldn't trust anybody. And I didn't have any love in my life, so it's hard for me to love. So the only feeling I had left was some anger, and that doesn't go very far. I was mad at the world. Couldn't get love from nowhere. When there was real love around me, sabotaged it, self-sabotaged it. You know, put drugs and alcohol on it. I was in a downward spiral. I was in a cloud. Couldn't trust nobody. Couldn't love nobody. Everything was broken. I was mad at the world. Yes. So, I mean, God brought me to my knees. I mean, that was my weakness. And he brought me to my knees, and I asked him to surround people around me that I could trust, that I could actually get love from. And he did that. You know what I mean? I asked him. He brought me to my knees. I asked him, and now he's built me back up. Now I can love again. I got people around me that I love and trust. I don't have to put alcohol and drugs on it no more. I can feel again. You know what I mean? Not just with my fingers. I can actually feel. And it feels good. Yeah, it does. It feels good. It feels good even when I mean, it for real. I mean, now, and the way he did it is like my trust issues, right? So when I was in rehab, I didn't trust anybody. I ain't going to trust this guy that has all these certificates on his wall talking about how to quit drugs and how to you know, feel my feelings again. I didn't trust that guy. I trusted this guy over here who's got the same certificates on his wall, but he's also got, you know, clean time. He's been there, done that. That I could trust. That's who God sent in my life. Somebody that's been there, done that, knows what I'm going through, can speak my language. And that's what in my heart, that's where God turns weakness into strength. Yeah. That guy's exactly where I was, built him up so he can come down and build me up. And to me, that's God's guidance right there. That's love in a nutshell. That's feeling my feelings, and that's trusting, and that's God. Thank you.
I love it. So I want to open the floor up to anybody that wants to share experience, Street to Hope, anything that you're struggling with and your weaknesses. And just feel free to share. We want to keep it to like 3 minutes if we can so we get everybody a chance. And I'm holding the microphone, so I guess I'm going to walk around with it. Sorry, we're having technical issues. Let's start right here.
I can relate to vulnerability. I was out there just running around crazy. I ended up neglecting my kids for 8 years and not being around doing drugs. And now that I've decided to get clean, it's a little late, and they took my son until he's 18 and he's 15 now, but it's definitely a humbling experience. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff when it comes to flesh and desires. But I do keep hope and I do keep faith, and I do come to church here every Saturday, and it gives me a sense of peace and clarity, and it makes me not so ashamed of what I'm going through, and I know I'm not the only one. And I just know there is hope because every day I'm doing more and more things. I have a problem speaking, being around people. And now I know not to manifest that I belong here, that I deserve this seat right here, that I deserve to talk to you guys. And it just feels good knowing that. And with that, I pass.
Oh, thank you so much. Got this gentleman back here. I'll get right back to you. Well, that's good stuff. I love y'all.
My name's Chase. I'm an addict.
What's up, Chase?
I just found out last night that my aunt passed away on the 8th this month. And right now, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I feel like using. So that's why I came to this meeting. I got up out of bed and just decided to come. So I kind of need some strength and hope on this. Because I'm struggling. I'm struggling not walking out this door using right now. With that, I pass. Thank you.
Brother, you're in the right place. Listen, you couldn't have came to a better meeting. There's so many solutions here tonight. I don't want to talk directly to you, but I want to encourage you to stay until this meeting's over because I want to pray for you. You hear me? Who else?
Hi, I'm Sarah and I'm an addict. So, hi. So, my weakness has always been validation from everybody else. And this is how my God works, right? So, 16 months ago, I fell asleep outside of an elevator by a parking garage. And had a bunch of dope and rigs on me, had 10 warrants. Cop come and woke me up and put me in jail. Judge told me, you do 2 months in treatment, I'll drop the 90 days. But still I wanted to run, right? I left my treatment that I was in back in July and went to somewhere else where I knew it was gonna be easier and I could graduate just like that. Well, I ended up relapsing. I got 82 days today. But something I've held on to for a long time is when I was 14, I got drunk, ended up getting raped. One of the people that was involved is in the same sober living as me. But you know how my God works? He's going to help me heal because Monday we get to sit down and talk about it with our counselors. That's all I got.
Thank you, Sarah.
So on the way here, hi, I'm Alec. I'm an alcoholic addict. On the way here, I wrote down a question, and I was really fighting with that question. And that question is, do I believe in God? And hearing you speak on that tonight has opened my eyes and literally started giving me goosebumps and feeling him. And I know he is real because I have been questioning that for a while now. And I really wrote that question down coming into this meeting right before, and like just goosebumps.
Hey. Yeah. Listen, we give hugs here. I don't know. Just look at God. Jana? 1 second, brother.
I'm Jan, I'm an addict. I remember writing a couple months ago and asking about my weakness and like, what if my weakness became my strength? And today, my weakness is my strength, you know? And Crystal, I'm so glad you're up there and you, like, what you said, I'm going through right now. Before we came to the meeting, I actually got a message from my daughter because we got court Wednesday. And it wasn't a good message because she wrote a letter to the judge and I got to read it. And I had to apologize. I had to humble myself and apologize again I had to take accountability where I played a part, where I hurt my kids because I was an active addiction. I had to take accountability why they hurt today and why they're going through what they're going through. And my kids used to be my weakness. But today I got to be strong for them no matter what. No matter what. Even if they fail, I still got to be strong for them. And I can't fail because what they go through or the actions that they go through. And then this is kind of a little sideways because at a point where we become strong, I sit here and I question myself and like, why do I got to have strength sometimes? Because I want to be weak. And when I told myself like, it becomes a burden to have strength, it hurts bad. It hurts so bad when my strength becomes a burden because I'm fighting my depression going on 6 months straight now, doing everything else wrong with no medication, nothing like that. But I'm doing everything right because my weakness is now my strength. And it's only by the glory of God that I have this strength inside of me. That I was able to get on my hands and knees and tell him like, look, I'm weak, take this weakness from me. And I don't know how to do it. But you know what? He let me walk. He walked right beside me, but he let me do the footwork. I did the footwork. So now I'm strong where I used to be really, really weak at. And I pass with that.
Thank you, Jana. Brother?
You could let me hold the mic, you know.
I'll hold it for you.
All right, whichever works. But anyway, I'm Devin. I'm a faithful believer.
Hey, David.
Devin. I had my only weakness was before I started my road to recovery is just anger issues and pride, because I have an urge to get angry a lot beforehand. I was so angry. You couldn't tell me what to do or when to do it, because I told him, look, I'll do it my own time, okay? Because I was so think I was Billy. Not gonna say that word because we're in a church, mind you. Well, my biggest problem is my pride. I let everything put my pride to the test. I was just say, you really want to challenge my pride? You really want to do that? Because the thing is, I caught myself in these situations before, and I told myself, why can't I change? Why can't I change get over my pridefulness and anger and just let it be something for a good reason? Put some good reasons to it, like being humble and being honest with myself. But I was so conflicted of getting rid of my anger. Why do you think I went to 6 years of anger management therapy? No, 5 years, I should say. Anyway, I went through the anger. My mom and my case manager recommended I go to anger management because they were afraid that if I don't control my anger, that can get me killed or in the jail. So I did it just for them because, well, one thing, my mom is always going to become my mom, even if she lives or dies. I didn't do it for my case manager. I did it for my mom's sake. So I went to anger management. I didn't do so well at first because they wanted to do some bogus thing. At first, I thought it was bogus to go to anger management, but I told myself that I'll do it just for my mom. And then I almost wanted to quit anger management, and therapy and stuff like that because well, the hell? Oh, right. Shoot. With that, I'm just going to say that keep working on whatever you're doing. It works if you work it. It sucks if it doesn't.
Thank you, brother. Hey, brother. I'm going to let you hold the mic for a second.
Hi, I'm Phil. I'm an alcoholic addict. I am scared to death to talk in front of people, but I'm trying to pursue something where I won't have a choice to do that. So I do have something to say. I was driving here and somebody pulled out. I was going 60 or 55. I was doing the speed limit, and somebody pulled out right in front of me, and I had to panic stop. And I didn't get mad. I didn't say any cuss words or anything. The person was driving out of a Amish deli, and I knew that they're they're older, and so we're driving down the road. The lane turns into 2 lanes, and of course, I didn't angrily pass them. I'm just passing them because they weren't doing the speed limit and I was. And of course, I look over at them, and 2 old ladies, old as the moon, completely oblivious. It just would have done no good to ruin my day. I did see somebody walking on Xenia Avenue, a guy holding his stomach, and he was absolutely filthy, and I wanted to stop and help him. And I really don't feel good about it. I just said to myself, he might have bed bugs or something, or I feel selfish for not helping the guy. I could have done something, I think, but I didn't want to be late to Christian recovery either. So take that as you want. I'm sure the guy will be okay. But I really do regret not helping the guy out. So that's all I got to say. Thank you for letting me share.
So we're going to pray for that man. We got time for one more share. My guy Ramon.
You know, my weakness was the fear of dying alone, which caused seeking validation. And, you know, this time in my recovery, you know, I questioned myself, like, you know, why, you know, I always felt this disconnection with people and stuff. And, you know, I come to conclude through my heart power, which is God, that, you know, he didn't want me to be connected with people of the world. And now, yeah, I feel sometimes alone, but within that, you know, loneliness, you know, I'm at peace and, you know, I'm finding me. So, you know, I overcame that fear, and I think I'm doing pretty good with it. So with that, I pass.
Thank you, Ramon. So listen, guys, we're going to wind the meeting down. We come to our prayer time. I want you guys to try to get your heads on God for a second. Wes, come down here. Let's get our minds on the Lord, because ultimately it's not about us, it's about somebody else, right? We're going to go into prayer, and I want to ask you guys something. Come over here with him. I want to ask you guys something. Here's the question. Are you ready to let go of all of your weaknesses, all of your control? Are you ready to let go tonight? Are you ready to let it go and lay it down for real? Because I'm not just some fly-by-night preacher. I'm a man who knows the answer. I'm here to tell you tonight, we do recover, and we recover together. So what I want to do is, anybody that has a weakness that they need to let go of, I want you to put your hands up right now. The whole room. As we lay this down, I want you to agree with me. The word says, where 2 or 3 come together, their God is in the midst. Then he says, where two touch one thing and agree, all heaven comes into the situation. That's what I believe is going to happen tonight. I believe the power of God will move through these weaknesses as we begin to pray. I want you to let them go and let God. You hear what I'm saying? And everyone, put your hand on your neighbor. We're going to pray for each other. We're going to take it to God. Hear me? Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you, God, for the word that you have given us tonight. God, we thank you for the broken. We thank you for the broken feelings that we have. God, we lay them down before you right now. And we're even reaching out to outside the doors, to the ones that can't hear it right now, that we may have missed an opportunity, but we know now there's the opportunity that has been spoken, that you would touch the homeless man that we drove past. God, that you would touch the pregnant lady who was out there who has no way, that you'll go up underneath the bridge at Riverscape and you would continue to feed the people and pass out the Narcan and do all that you're doing in the earth. We see you moving through our weaknesses, God. God, as we stand here touching one another, God, we do it in your name, and we come in the name above all names, the name of Jesus Christ, the one where all knees will bow and every tongue will confess. We go ahead, we're giving it to you right now, God, whatever that looks like. Let this be the moment that your presence sets over top each and every one of us being touched right now. We know these feelings will pass, God, but we know that we're made new in your presence. God, we let it go. Right now, we let it go, so that we can ultimately be rising up in your ashes, God, and become the beauty that is your shine through us. God, let our lights shine. Let us be an example as we leave this place. God, I ask that you would allow each and every one of us to feel your presence, even though we leave this place together. And God, we go and do what we have to do. We ask that we get out the way so that you can do it. And we thank you for touching each and every heart in here tonight. If you believe that, give the Lord a hand clap of praise. Listen, it's something a little different. We had some people asking about donations last week. I put a basket up here. We're not going to pass it around. This ain't official church service, but we come together. If you do feel compelled to give to this ministry, go ahead, and that's up to you. At 7:30, we have some people coming in. We got church tomorrow. So once we get over on the bar side for karaoke, we've got the back door open for people to smoke out back. We're going to clean it up eventually and have it together. But I would just ask that you guys would use the restrooms and just keep everything over there. We're going to have some people coming into the sanctuary. But I love you guys. Thank you for coming out. I'll see you next Saturday.
I don't know.
Good stuff. Yeah. My guy.